Hi there. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on the part of the world you're watching this video from, or the time you're watching this video, right? I'm Bearable King, your favorite host, and I'm back again on Bearable channel to share British pounds, American dollar, which I have been doing for about 19 weeks now in the year 2024. And before I go into what I see for this new week and a review of what happened last week, I usually love to share my thoughts rooted in the Bible. But today I'm going to be doing something different. I'm going to be I'm going to be sharing something that I posted on my Twitter handle. And uh, it's actually a prayer. It's called prayer of serenity. Serenity is peace, basically, right? I know the prayer is longer than this, but what I just did was I summarized some parts, or I took out some parts. Okay, so the prayer says, God grants me the serenity or the peace to one, accept the things I cannot change. Two, the courage to change the things that I can change, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now, this is very important when it comes to trading because there are some things you cannot change, right? For example, you can't change the volatility of the market. If the market is buying, you cannot change the market to sell. So you need to understand some things that you can't handle and you need to accept it. Then the things you can change, for example, if you've been in a losing streak, you can reduce your risk. You need to have courage to do some things. You need to have courage to walk away from your system when you notice that you have lost your maximum limit for a day. You understand? So there are a lot of things that you can change pertaining to yourself. You can determine not to trade. You can determine to click buy or sell. You can determine your lot size. You can determine your stop loss. So you need to understand the things that you have control over and focus on those things and understand the difference between those things, right? So God gives us the grace to accept those things that we cannot change and the courage to change those things that we can and the wisdom to know the difference. It's a it's a folly effort trying to change the things you should accept or accepting the things you can change, if you understand what I'm saying. There are a lot of things that are going on in your life right now that you can actually change, but rather than changing it, you're accepting it. I pray that God gives you the wisdom to know the difference. And those things that you cannot change, I pray that God gives you the grace or the peace to accept it. All right. Now, the second part says, live one day at a time. It was actually living one day at a time, which means that we need to enjoy the present. You cannot, each minute or each hour you spend thinking about what happened yesterday is a present time that has been wasted. Okay? So each day you have, you're meant to fulfill and maximize that particular day by doing the things and thinking about the things you need to do today. All right. Imagine a secondary school child, right? Spending 4 hours, 5 hours daydreaming about marriage life. The child is probably not going to be doing well in school because the time the child is meant to spend in the present, the child is fantasizing about the future. Or a man who has lost everything, and rather than picking himself up to put in the work, he sits down and is wallowing and saying, oh, I lost this, I lost this, I lost this. You understand? So you need to learn how to live one day at a time. There are going to be problems, there are going to be triumphs, there are going to be up times and down times. But if you are present, as a matter of fact, when it comes to trading, you need to be present. Being present is a very, very key factor when it comes to trading. All right. Then enjoy. This part two was also enjoying one moment at a time. All right. Celebrate your wins. If you win today, celebrate it. You don't know if you are going to win tomorrow. Don't say, oh, I will celebrate on Friday. And you've been trading, you made money on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You didn't celebrate. Yeah, no, I'm going to celebrate on Friday. On Friday, you may chop stop loss. I will take all the profit. You understand? So celebrate today. Celebrate this moment at a time. Then finally, accept hardships are a pathway towards peace or pathways to peace. Why are we saying this? It's very important to understand that the pain you're going through, whether you're spending hours learning how to trade or you're putting in so much effort, so much time, and you're building yourself, you're building your character, you're building your discipline, you're building your patience, you are back testing for hours, testing your system and strategizing. Those hardships are the pathway to where you want to get to. There's nobody that gets to where he wants to get to by accident. All right. You can get to anywhere else but where you want to get to by accident. But if you want to achieve something, you need to put in the work and make sure that that work works for you. So that's the word I have for today. It's not a Bible verse, but it's actually a prayer. You could type prayer of serenity and you will see what I'm talking about. There are a lot of write ups on it. It's good for us to understand because peace in this time is very important. So I'm going to read it as a whole for you and you can repeat after me. Prayer of serenity. God grants me the serenity. God grants me the peace to accept the things I cannot change. God grants me the peace to courage. God grants me the peace to change the things I can change. And God grants me the wisdom to do what? To know the difference between the things I can accept and the things I can change, or the things I can change and the things I cannot change. I'm going to live one day at a time. I'm going to enjoy one moment at a time. Hardships are the pathway to peace. Amen. All right, all right, all right, all right. Fantastic. Now let's go into the chat. I really don't want to waste time because there's really not too much to talk about. We've spoken about this last week, and most of it has played out, even though it didn't play out to our particular desire. But let's look at the market, right? So if you remember this video, if you do not remember, go and watch the first video for the year 2024 where I broke down GU for the entire year. So this was the weekly area of interest that I marked, right? Let me go to the weekly time frame so that you see it clearly. All right, so this is the weekly time frame, and I mentioned that the market pushed up to this point, came down here, and then the market came here, and we had a gap here. So I was saying that the market was going to pull back into this gap, which is what the market has done. And you can see that we have a bullish engulfing candlestick setup, and then the market pushed up to this point. So from here on the weekly time frame, I can say that one, the market can either come up here as it did and push down here, or the market can do what? From here, move up. And I did mention that if the market is going to move up, it's most likely going to come here, right? Now, why am I saying here? Because I'm looking at the structure, and from here, I can see the market do this, right? And if the market does this, I know that the market is doing what? Moving to the upside, all right? But this is just a speculative move, right? It's the weekly time frame, so we cannot just assume that from here we'll start buying and set our stop loss below this point. It's going to be a large stop loss, right? So we go to the daily time frame, which was where we had this consolidation throughout last week, and then I marked the chart. I did mention that we had a drop here, pull back, we had a drop here, the market pulled back, and then we had this drop, right? Now, this market has pulled up to this point. From here, this market can actually come down here before moving upwards, right? At the same time, the market does not necessarily have to come here. There's no law in trading that says the market must come here. That's the reason why everything is probability based, right? Which simply means that from here, we've had the market do a nice morning star here. This is what we call a morning star setup. Bearish candle like a doji, then a bullish candle reversing it, right? And this is a strong setup. So from here, what have we seen? we have seen that the market has pushed up. But you can see that on Friday, the market closed with a long, um, this is called a shooting star, right? This is called a shooting star. The market pushed back down. So from here, anything can happen. If this market comes above this point, there's a possibility it may come up above it, then does what? Changes the direction to where? The upside. Okay, this is the speculation from the market. Now I'm giving you both angles, but personally I feel like the direction has changed to becoming bullish, but I'm also showing you the possibility that I may be wrong and the market may be bearish, right? So now that I've explained this one, I'll now go to the 4-hour time frame that we looked at last week. So last week I did mention that we had a consolidation, we had a manipulation. We're expecting a change in direction here, which happened, I think, last week Friday, somewhere around here, right? It happened last week Friday. Let me move this right here to this point. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me move this. So this was on Friday here. So I was expecting that we had an order block here, that the market was going to pull back into the zone and then push to this up point, right? But rather than the market doing that, what did the market do? So the market came up. This was Friday and then closed here. And then on Monday, what happened? The market pushed up, came down here, right? And then pushed up to this point, right? Now, if you notice something, you notice that the market kept giving higher highs and didn't give the pullback into this point, which is the reason why I didn't give any signal on the Telegram channel this week. Instead, the market just came into our zone, the breaker block zone, the unmitigated zone, and it has now been what? Mitigated, right? So what am I expecting right now? Let me remove this. Let me remove this, or let me still use this. So here we still have an order block here, right? And this order block has not been mitigated yet, right? And because it has not been mitigated, a lot of things can still happen. Now remember that I mentioned that if you check on the daily, on the weekly time frame, you can see a bullish engulfing candlestick. On the daily time frame, you can see a solid morning star setup, which are both reversal setups, right? So based on what I have seen on the higher time frame, I personally believe that the market is still bullish. Now, why am I saying this? I'm going to apply my Fibonacci on this chart from this high, no, from the low to the high, sorry, from this low to this high, right? Now, why am I applying my Fibonacci? I'm applying my Fibonacci so that you will see my area of interest. Now, observe that 70 and 79 fib level, which is 1.2398 and 1.2370, are in the order block that I have marked here. And their take profit point is around 1.2726 and 1.2774, right? So two things can happen. We've gotten a rejection here, right? Let me change this to done so that will be clear. We've gotten a rejection at this BB zone and this part has been mitigated. However, this upper part has not been mitigated yet. Okay, so what I personally am expecting is we had the market do what? Push to this upside, right? Now we could have this price do what? Push down into this zone, right? Before doing what? Moving to this up part, right? Now, if we have this, then that distribution that I mentioned last week would actually just be happening here. Okay? So this is going to now be my own proper distribution, not what played out um, last week. Okay, not what played out last week. So I would be expecting a possible move like this week. This is the move I personally am expecting. Now, when you see this, what it simply means is on the 15 minutes time frame or 30 minutes time frame, you would have seen a reversal setup. So all you simply need to do is sell high and keep riding the market till it gets to this point. And when you see a bullish reversal setup, what do? Buy to the upside. So I'm expecting a move like this. I believe that this was a change in the direction here, and the market has not yet done its pullback. Okay, this is a change in the direction here, and this is a market structure shift, and the market has not done its pullback. So this week I'm expecting a sell to the downside, and then from this area, right, I'm expecting the market to do what? Rise to 1.277. So if you say, for example, take a trade from here down to this point, you'd have made about 188 pips. And if you take it from down here to the top here, you all right, if you take it from down here to the top here, you'll be closing in about $360. Sorry, 360 pips. I don't know why I keep mentioning dollar. So for this week, this is my expectation. I feel like the market has changed the direction, but I could be wrong. Now, if I'm wrong, what would be the tell? When the market gets here, you're not going to get a bullish confirmation that the market will go up. Instead, the market will just keep dropping lower. Then what would I expect? I want to see the market's reaction somewhere around here. So if it's that the market just trips all the way down and then I see a change of direction here, I will now do what? Take a buy. Okay. So the idea there is this: follow the market. Don't trade assuming that you know what the market is going to do. Let the market give you a confirmation before you take a trade. And I hope that with this information and this knowledge that I've passed to you, you would come out on top. You will come out profitable by the end of this week. So till next week, remain safe, remain blessed. I remain your favorite host, Bearable King. Bye bye.